It is time for another great week of the Panther Pulse here at Zapata Mexican Restaurant, powered by Joseph Chambers, State Farm Insurance Agent, and Zapata Mexican Restaurant. Good evening, everyone. Justin Foster, Braden George here with you from Zapata on 93.3 The River, streaming tonight on YouTube. Little technical issues with NFHS, so we are going out on YouTube tonight, and got a great show coming up for you. We are previewing all things homecoming. We've got Nicole Knight, Communications Manager for Pelham City Schools, as well as SGA representatives. We got the adults. We got some of the students from SGA. So we will look at all things for homecoming. That is next week for Pelham City Schools. Later on, we have golf joining us, and we will chat with several of our football players as well in just a little bit. Joining us now, though, is Coach Mike Vickery, coming off of a 37-14 victory over the Chilton County Tigers. Coach,
great to be here. Thank you guys for having us as always.
And a good one, finally in the victory column with a win over Chilton County. A close game, blown open late in that third quarter. What was your assessment of the team's play overall in the game?
Well, I don't know about that, the tone of that finally in the win column there. No, we great night to finally get one. We had a just so close the 2 weeks prior, and just came up a little short in both games, and kind of got dicey there in the second half. They tied the game up, and that's kind of where we want to see growth in our program is once we had that challenge, that push back from them, our kids were able to kind of take control. Didn't get too uptight and went out and made plays to win the game and away. But it was a good night. Definitely a great win. And anytime you get a region win, and in this region, it's a very tough region. We talk about it all the time, top to bottom. You gotta appreciate those region wins.
I know you've talked about wanting the explosive plays, and it really started with a safety, and then everything just started to click, explosive plays after explosive plays. What does that do for the confidence of this team to finally see those just happen in such a sequence like that?
Well, I think on both sides. Defensively, I thought 2 weeks prior, we weren't able to get off the field at times. We want to prevent big plays from happening, and I thought the previous weeks we had done that. Offensively, those two teams that were able to go get points in a lot of their drives and convert long possessions, 8, 10, 12 play possessions. The other night we saw the same thing. We don't want to give up big plays. We didn't, and then they started making some mistakes from a offensive standpoint. So our defense was able to get them in situations. We got a couple of bad exchanges with from a snapping standpoint, and that's what we want to do defensively, not give up those big plays. Then turn around on offense, take advantage of the field position, get back off. Once we get off the field defensively, to attack and to attack quick, and our kids were able to do that. We hit a couple big plays over the top, big safety there on a kind of botch snap zone, and a heads-up play by Uriah on that play, and that kind of sparked things. We got the ball in good field position, and we were able to score. I think 16 points in about 18 seconds. So anytime you do that, that's usually going to be a good night.
Coach, you talked about the offensive efficiency there in the second half. Good night for the offense, able to spread the ball out a lot. A lot of guys got touches, a lot of guys scored. How does it improve offensive efficiency to be able to spread the ball out like that?
Well, going into it, we really wanted to attack more through early down, quick game throws, and we missed a few early in our first possession on some, as we kind of again settled into the game. Missed a few throws early, but we've got guys. At wide receiver, running back, a bunch of guys that can make plays with the ball in the air, out of the backfield, and from a route running standpoint. So those guys, we want to find ways to get you, and we really wanted to, going into it, we wanted to throw the ball 20, 25 times at least, and I think we finished with around 22 throws. So that was kind of the game plan going in, is really spread it out, be a little more 10 personnel for us, which 4 wideouts, 1 back, and just try to get those guys in space and go.
Speaks to the progression of the wide receivers, big games. Owen Orr stepping up with some really big plays. How did you assess the play of those wideouts and how they're improving week to week?
Yeah, Owen, going into the season, we really felt we had 5 guys that were game ready, Friday night ready. We have a couple of guys that are close, pretty deep group. And then early on we had to move T.J. Copeland over to defense to get some defensive reps when we lost to JV&G. So Owen is that guy that was going in from a wide receiver standpoint, to be a rotational guy to get guys rest, and he was week 2 thrown into playing every snap, and he's played great. And obviously the other night made it some 3 big catches. All 3 catches were in big moments for first downs, and one was a end over end pop fly that Dylan threw a curveball out there to left center field, and Owen was able to adjust, come back, fight through a defender, and come back and make a big play on a football. So he's played great. Those are the other 3 wideouts. Tristan Darden, who is the most physical of those guys. So KP, the long run, he had an outstanding block on the long run on the touchdown after the safety. So those guys complement each other and the things that they do. Marcus and Jacob are able to stretch the field a little bit. Tristan and Owen are able to play between the hashes a lot, and then also physical understanding, blocking as well. So really proud of their progression and where, what they've been able to do so far.
Caleb Porter just continues, it seems, week to week to get better and better. 15 carries, 129 rushing yards. That's 2 straight 100 yards rushing, 3 with over 100 yards overall. How much of that goes to that offensive line improving? We've just noticed all the stats offensively continue to improve. How is the line progressing since week 1?
Getting better and better each week. Again, after halftime, we inserted Sawyer Sullivan back into the lineup. We talked about that last week, who had been out. It was his first action, and has played well in returning. It's a position that is going to always is going to be improving the entire year. The other night we were able to move Rylan, who we'll talk to here in a minute, to kind of a full-time defensive lineman Friday night, just trying to get some bigger bodies on defense to help us a little bit, and he unselfishly does it, plays very well at defensive line, but that left 5 guys over there that were all 5 underclassmen. So, three sophomores and 2 juniors up front. So they are progressing, continuing to get better. Still some mistakes here and there. We're not super big yet. Those kids are going to get bigger and bigger over the next year or 2. But able to open up some nice holes the other night for Caleb, and Caleb, is finding ways to get him in different spots, different places on the field, and because he can be explosive from different angles and different spots, and he's getting better and better as the year goes on as well.
Feels like the past few weeks our main talking point has been we didn't start fast enough. This game wasn't incredibly different, only a 7-point lead at halftime. What was the difference in this game that was able to go to the middle in the second half and really widen that gap and win the game?
Field position in the second half. I mean, it was we had three scoring drives where we started at on their side of the field. So field position is a big part of that, and you're able to be a lot more just more aggressive when you're in those spots. We came out, we tried to get an onside kick there in the to start the opening, start the second half, and just about a half a yard away from being able to make that play on a kick from Jake. And we want to attack. We wanted to be more aggressive, try to steal a possession here and there, and just really be a little bit more on the offensive instead of trying to defense to dictate what we were doing. So, but it's much easier to do that when you have good field position, and when the defense is able to get off the field. Had a big turnover on again I already talked about the safety. So when you have the ball in those positions, we were able to be a little bit more explosive there.
How much does it help again? We've seen the improvement week to week. The last couple of games have been so close, to play away from winning both of those games. How big is it going into this bye week to have this win, have this momentum, and have the guys feeling that with a week off?
Well, you definitely need the win going into no matter when your bye week is. It's always better. It makes your practices a little bit more up tempo, a little more energy, so definitely from a mindset standpoint, it's huge. We had to reset a little bit. We had to go back to some basics where, again, some guys that are playing positions that some have never played before. And, again, a case like Rylan, he's had 1 week of practice in the defensive line, so we're able to come back, really slow down, show more film, teach a little, kind of get back to the basics, fundamentals on some of these kids that have been kind of shuffling around. Even guys that have been on defense. Joe Hampton, for instance, he's played 3 different positions defensively in the first 5 weeks. So we're able to slow down, really start go back to teaching, and instead of scheming and try to get back to day one type mentality. Moving into that week just adds a little bit of relief, I think, and then also just a little bit of balancing your step a little bit, coming back with some confidence.
37-14 victory over Chilton County going into the bye. We'll chat with Coach a little bit different later on to close the show. We got Joseph Chambers sitting in to talk with Coach as well. So that is coming up to close the show. We'll take a break here from Zapata. When we come back, we will talk to several key players for the Panthers. That is coming up right after the break on 93.3 The River and YouTube.
Zapata Mexican Restaurant is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River. Zapata is a local, family-owned and operated business, proud to have been a part of the
of love. Mahatma Gandhi made the world a far better place by reaching out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked #1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-66 Neighbor. State Farm is there.
We are back here at Zapata Mexican Restaurant. It is the Panther Polls, powered by Joseph Chambers, State Farm Insurance Agent and Zapata Mexican Restaurant. Joining us now, 4 of our key players for our Panthers, starting with our offense. We got Caleb Porter and Drew Martin, and on the defensive side, Rylan Hoyette as well as Hunter Jawhorn. Guys, how we doing?
Pretty good.
Great to have y'all with us. And KP, I want to start with you. Statistically, week-to-week improvement, from week 1 to now. Every week those stats get better. What do you attribute that improvement to?
Every time, every game, I think I look back to what my stats were and just have the mentality to get higher touchdowns, more yards, and then just keep on progressing as we go up.
So what was the mentality, going into this game against Chilton County? Really quickly, that Chilton County jumps on top. We were able to keep that composure and really put the pedal to the metal. What was y'all's mindset in that early deficit to come back and really dominate?
I mean, at the beginning, we knew it was probably going to be a tough game because we had been watching film and all of them. But towards halftime, we all said we need to lock in because we really wanted to win and just wanted to go in the bye week.
Drew, how did it feel getting that win and going into this bye week, knowing we got this time off to prepare for homecoming?
I mean, that win was a real confidence booster for us. And going into our bye week, knowing that we have a win under our belt now, it just boosts our team morale a lot. It just feels good to have a win under our belt now.
Now, I do want to ask you about this. We've talked to Jake several times about that connection and the synergy between the snapper, holder, and kicker. What is that perspective?
I mean, from my perspective, it all ties into each other. So for us to get a good kickoff or whatever, we all have to be doing our best. Like, even outside of the field, me and Jake will be practicing. Me and Owen will be practicing. It depends on one person to get all 3 of our jobs done right.
Now, everybody wants to bring up the kicker. Do you get the same kind of nerves that, everybody's magnifying him? What is that like from your perspective, knowing that you play just as crucial a role?
I mean, for me, I know it's a crucial role because if I mess up, Jake messes up. There's no, other way around it. So if I mess up a snap, then the whole play is botched. So it's a little stressful every now and then because a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to really do it and do it well. But getting a good snap off feels great.
We talked to Coach about a lot of good field position last week. How does that work to y'all's advantage, knowing you're coming out on the correct side of the 50, you've only got a short field to go? How does that really boost y'all's confidence going onto the field?
It just gives us a little bit more confidence, a little bit room. Like if something does go bad, we have a little bit of room for error, and we can account for that.
It just drives us to be more confident, have just a positive mindset, and just keep on going with the game and get a win.
You guys are of course, the team, and a lot of guys that are still figuring it out trial by fire. For the offensive line, the improvement we've seen, what have y'all seen from that leadership position of watching these guys improve every week?
Ever since Ryland, they moved Ryland away, we have had some ups and downs, but during practice we just be working, just keep on working since Ryland moved, and we have been doing real well, especially the Chilton game. But overall, since Ryland moved, we've just been good.
And I've seen some of the younger O-linemen playing, like Jake Bush and Sawyer Sully, who are sophomores. They've stepped up a lot too, because they're still really young and they don't have a lot of experience, but they've stepped up a lot since the first game.
I want to ask you really quickly about the bye week. What is that like for you guys? Are you able to, decompress a little bit and take some time for yourself, or is it just all focused to Spain Park and what's going to be a big challenge?
Half of it is focusing on Spain Park and focusing on that game, and as well as recovering from any injuries and all that stuff while we have the time to do it.
Yeah, like what he said, it feels good to know that we have a little bit of time to prepare for Spain Park because it's a big game, and knowing that we have time to recover from any injuries that we've been having. So it feels good to know that we got a little bit of a breather.
A lot of distractions, homecoming next week, and you got a team at the top of the region coming in, big-time challenge. What are y'all seeing from Spain Park as you look ahead to that matchup?
Their defense is really, really stacked, but it really don't really affect me because I know how they play because of last year, and it really just doesn't affect me. And I just say to myself and just pray that everything goes well, and I just continue to have the past few games and building up them stats how I've been having.
Spain Park is a good team, but I feel like if we do what we do and we can do it to the best of our ability, we'll be able to pull out a win.
Well, let's hear from our defensive guys now. Still getting used to this. Ryland, such an offensive staple, is now on the defensive side. Ryland Hoyette and Hunter Drawhorn joining us now as they get their headsets. Guys, how we doing?
Good. How about you?
Doing great. Great to have y'all with us. And Ryland, I want to start with you. You make that switch to the defensive side. You're a guy that's really been kind of a cornerstone of that offensive line. What has that transition been like for you, and how you feeling being a defensive guy?
It's been smooth. I kind of just, I keep the same mentality, try to beat him off the ball, all that type, Can't really – the calls sometimes confuse me. But other than that, I think if I come off the ball hard and, try to beat my man, that's all I got to do.
So really, when you're still thinking about all those things and trying to acclimate to new calls, new ideas and all that, how much are you able to have to – just roll with it if you are confused in play, or is that throwing you off at all?
No, it's not throwing me off. Some of the calls just not really knowing the size to go to. But other than that, I think I could figure it out, work on it, and I'm going to be good.
So this was a question I had for Coach that didn't have time for, but 2 touchdowns in the opening drive for Chilton County. They score in their opening drive in the first half and the second half. What adjustments do you feel like you guys were able to make to tighten up and really –
I think we were able to come off and we try to just, keep the same mindset throughout the game and stop them. Just stop them.
Well, We started letting our corners play a little bit with those hitch routes that were getting us early in the game. We started letting our corners come down and actually play those man coverage, and that made them run the ball a little bit more and let the linebackers, D linemen, stop them up front. So.
A few key mistakes for Chilton County on the offensive side of the ball. Just how are you guys able to capitalize when the offense makes a mistake and really, build on that?
Just make sure they're getting off the field on 3rd or 4th down. I mean, when they make mistakes, we need to capitalize on them. Like that one where got snapped above 17's head, and Benji ran all the way there to go get him. So, I mean, we just had to capitalize on the mistakes that they made. Just had to play better football.
Really impressed with Logan Coppage. Ending plays, and early on especially just throwing some dots to extend drives. From y'all's perspective, when, hey, we want to pressure the quarterback, we want to get him on the run, how do you balance that with a guy who can really make you pay by extending those plays? Because we were able to, wear him out and got really frustrated in that second half.
Well, I mean, we just weren't as disciplined, I think, in the first half as we were in the second half at secondary. And just first half, we just got a little sloppy, just weren't really communicating that well. Second half, picked it up, and we started communicating really well, and everyone was rolling with it. And I feel like we picked it up a lot in the second half.
We kind of just, had to fire off the ball and try to keep applying pressure even when he's running. Don't stop to the ball, to the whistle blow. So
homecoming's next week, a lot of distractions. Are y'all able to, kind of balance, enjoy any of that? Do y'all have a favorite part of homecoming at all? That's a quick no. We're all business.
Yeah,
correct answer. You get your coach right here, and that's the way to roll. So Spain Park again. We talked to them about the defensive side. Offensively, Brock Bradley, big time quarterback. They got playmakers all over the place. What are y'all seeing from that offense, and how do we shut them down?
I mean, they're a good team. I mean, we're just going to have to play really good defense. We're probably going to have to play some of the best defense we played all year, I think. I mean, secondary's going to have to be ready. D-line, the box is going to have to be ready. I mean, we're just going to have to bring our A game. I mean, nothing more else to it.
Just make sure we watch film and know what they're going to do before they do it.
All right, guys, we're looking forward to that one. That is, again, next week off the bye. It is homecoming, so we will turn our attention to all those festivities. They may not be focused on them, but we are going to focus on them in this next segment. Coming up, we have Nicole Knight, Communications Manager for Pelham City School, as well as SGA, joining us here at Zapata. It is the Panther Pulse, powered by Joseph Chambers and Zapata Mexican Restaurant, right back after this.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all.
One might be tempted to say, "Excuse me, Mr. Grill Man, there appears to be a little extra burger on my burger." You're dang right there is. Everybody goes to Milo's.
Visit your local career center or alabamaworks.alabama.gov. Funding provided by the USDOL, PTA, and Federal WIOA, an Equal Opportunity Employer Program. Auxiliary aids and services of Alabama Broadcasters Association.
We are back here at Zapata Mexican Restaurant. It is the Panther Pulse, powered by Joseph Chambers, State Farm Insurance Agent, and Zapata Mexican Restaurant. Justin Foster, Braden George here with another great show. We've had Coach Vickery, we've had our players, and joining us now, we've got SGA, and we've got Nicole Knight, Communications Manager for Pelham City Schools. We will start with her. How you doing tonight? It's great to have you. And, a whole lot of stuff going on. The football coaches and the players may not like this because it's a lot of distractions, but for the rest of us, it is a great time. And we're going to talk about all things homecoming, and we'll start by talking about what has become a great tradition, and that is our homecoming parade.
Yes. We will be rolling out the Panther Prowl next Thursday, 5:30 p.m. on Bearden Road, starting at Pelham High School, on to the youth football field, where we'll follow up with our community pep rally. But this year for the Panther Prowl, we've got about 29 groups signed up, with lots of participation from Pelham Parks and Rec with the flag football, youth football, and youth cheer. And then we have several groups from Pelham Park Middle School and Pelham High School.
Now, I know this, this whole event is intended to unite the entire community. I know when we're coming, a lot of times it's kind of limited to the high school, and I know they get a majority of the fun, but how important is this to unite the entire community and get everybody involved?
It was something that really was initiated by the high school when Pelham City Schools was established in 2014. They wanted to broaden the community spirit, and they started that with the Panther Prowl parade and included the Parks and Rec youth teams, and it really kind of started growing from there. So that that expanded into the middle school, the high school. The Prowl was just really well loved by the whole community, and after that, we incorporated dress-up days and events throughout all the schools, so that everyone could participate in the homecoming week festivities. And then in 2018, we started the Community Pep Rally, which is sponsored by our Pelham City Schools Foundation. One of their pillars is community, and they really thought it was a great idea to have that opportunity to bring everybody together after the Panther Prowl, and it's just grown and grown ever since.
So what are the plans for that? Anything new this year as far as what we're going to see from that pep rally?
Well, it'll be a traditional pep rally format. We have a DJ and a superstar MC, I hear.
If you want to call him superstar, I'll roll with that.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
This year as our MC. But anyway, we'll have involvement from the Pelham High School band, from Pelham team will be with us, the dance team, cheerleaders, just a traditional Pelham pep rally kind of format. We are going to throw in a TikTok-style dance competition among the schools, so you don't want to miss that. All ages will be participating.
Sure to be a hit.
Yes. And we do have something new this year. Can I announce
absolutely.
it? Can I break the news? So this year we are going to do something called Sharing the Spirit, and it's going to be a kindergarten senior walk. We're inviting all of the kindergartners from Pelham Oaks and Pelham Ridge and all of the seniors to come onto the field. And the seniors will start on one field, the kindergartners will start on the other side of the field. They'll walk to the middle while some sappy song that's going to make everybody cry comes on, and they'll meet in the middle. They'll introduce each other, give hugs, and pass on the Panther spirit to the next generation.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely, just so cool.
Yes.
So cool. I've seen a similar type of thing, and I was like, man, that is awesome.
Yeah, we were definitely inspired by some things that we saw on other communities doing. So definitely not an original idea, but it was
there aren't many of those out there. So but a great one, and that is awesome.
Yeah.
So before we let you go, what is your favorite part of all this? I know you get caught up in. What do you love most about this event?
I can't put my finger on one thing. I mean, homecoming week to me is just the essence of the Pelham family and the spirit of what Pelham really has become for our whole community. It's just amazing to see everybody get really excited about it and see all of the kids, young and old, just have a good time and being together. That's the favorite thing.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We'll turn our attention now to SGA and hear from them about a whole lot of bells and whistles to get us ready for all of these events. Joining us now, we have Shelly Bates, Laurel Harrelson, and we'll hear from several of our students. We also have Tracy Dubberly coming in. Got a mouthful. A lot of names to introduce. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you? Good.
Doing great. Now, you guys have kind of shifted into new leadership, new faces in SGA. What has it been like for y'all in changing up these roles a little bit?
It's been great. It was a busy summer for us, planning for homecoming and the upcoming football season. Stepping into a whole new role, it was exciting, a little nervous. We brought on Miss Harrelson and we brought on Miss Dubberly with Miss Slay in her new role for us to take over. And we've got a couple of new things for homecoming this year, so we're real excited.
Before we jump into that, I do just want to kind of give y'all a chance to brag on this group of kids. What kind of kids, what kind of group do we have this year?
We have an awesome group. Every year it's different. We get a whole new group of kids sometimes. We've just had a fire that has lit under SGA in the last 2 years. We had more people run this year than we have ever had in SGA. So it was, we only take on 45 kids, and I think we had right at 90-something run for election. So, you get 40-something personalities all together, and in the summer we sit and we plan how our whole entire year is going to go. And it takes us almost a whole entire day to plan homecoming week. So,
well, without further ado, what are some of the plans that we have for this week?
We have dress-up days.
Yeah.
You want to talk about our dress-up
Sure.
days?
So we have dress-up days for the whole week. It's our road trip. That's the theme for the full week. So we start Monday in California with twin day or stunt double day. And then Tuesday we take a stop in Texas, so it's Western apparel. Wednesday is our pit stop at the hotel, so it's a pajama day, and we know the kids always love a good pajama day. Thursday it's Florida, so it's vacation wear, so like lays and tacky tourists and all that. And then Friday is our last day of it. It's our homecoming day, and it's construction. So the student section is going to be called the Destruction Zone, as they've lovingly called it. So it's construction gear, hard hats, orange vests, all that.
So going to be a lot of picture opportunities all week long for this.
It is. They took a lot of time during the summer thinking over what the other schools, because the other schools do the dress-up days with us, Oaks Ridge and Pelham Park Middle. So they really took a lot of time trying to pick days that those schools could do with us as well, so they wouldn't just be just for the high school.
I love that it's everybody's involved and bottom to the top. So on top of the dress-up days, we have a lot of really cool events for the students and stuff. Y'all tell us about those things.
We do. We moved powder puff and kickball to Wednesday night because we have a JV game on Monday. I was playing Helena, and we didn't want to take away from either of those on Tuesday. So powder puff and kickball will be Wednesday night. Kickball's at 6. Powder puff is at 7. So we have that, and then we have the community pet rally and parade at 7. No, not at 7. Don't get there at 7; it'll be over. As Nicole was talking about on Thursday.
So what do you guys do with the pep rally? Is it community pep rally? Is it just a float, or are there bigger involvements for SGA?
We're pretty involved with that. We have the homecoming court. We make sure that the homecoming court gets there and gets there on time. We have a float that's in it, and then once we get there, we make sure that our SGA intermingle with the community. A lot of times we're giving out we've given out pom-poms before. Make sure that everybody gets where they're supposed to be and that we're just seen in the community and help out.
Let's hear from some of your SGA members now. We got Quinn Garner and Amina Tall joining us now to get that student perspective. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Great to have you with us. And do just want to get y'all's perspective from a student. What was important for you guys in planning these events to kind of have your voice heard, to make this something that the students will really enjoy?
For me, the most important thing was just talking to the student body and communicating with my peers about just like dress-up days that they would like to see, and like even now, like going into homecoming week, like we are going to have another homecoming week, and even now, like hearing from them and hearing their ideas, because this is like we're there to represent the student body, so that's really important to me, is reaching out to my friends going into like our day during the summer, and like what would y'all like to see? What are some things that y'all would like to do?
Right. I agree with Quinn. I would say making sure that the students are happy and that they're actually doing something that they would enjoy and kind of look back on and say that was fun. But yeah, just making sure that we get their opinions and seeing how they would enjoy it. It's definitely something.
Being in the planning process, what kind of challenges have you guys seen that maybe people don't realize in doing all that planning that you have to account for?
Well, like Ms. Bates said, there's a lot of voices that are trying to be heard, and we have to get to some organization where we're not all speaking over each other. So that was one thing that was definitely something that we struggled with this year, was just like being quiet enough to get some ideas out there. So that was one thing that we struggled with. It's a good opportunity to come together, and I feel like homecoming week can either break us or make us. And I feel like it made us this year. Like once we got through homecoming week, we were able to communicate with each other, and I felt like it was just like what we needed to do to run smoothly this year.
Yeah, definitely finding themes that everyone would enjoy is a challenge because you're always going to have that one group of people who just aren't quite with it. But I feel like for the most part this year we have a theme that's pretty open and that a lot of people can try their own things, and I think they'll like it.
So what are some of y'all's favorite things you're looking forward to about the week overall? Maybe favorite dress-up day, event, or one of both?
For me, I'm looking forward to PJ Day. I any excuse to wear pajamas to school, I'm there. So that's definitely, I'm really excited for that.
I'm really looking forward to the Hawaiian theme. I'm looking forward to that one because I love wearing my leis and the sunglasses. I just feel like it's kind of a vibe at school for sure.
Definitely a vibe. Now, before we let you go, they talked about SJ in this group. What does the group mean to y'all in this experience to be a part of such a cool organization?
I definitely just say meeting new people is one of the biggest things I love about SGA. Trying new things. It just really opened a lot of doors for me, and it still is. But yeah, that's definitely something that I love about SGA. It's just doing all different types of things.
SGA has really taught me to grow into a leader and kind of take up that role as a leader. And going into junior year, it really helped me with having more friends just in different grades, and it allowed me to kind of meet new people and really expand and be comfortable being a leader and being the person that stands out in front of the crowd.
Well, we appreciate y'all so much for joining us. Looking forward to a great week. Next week, it is just around the corner starting on Monday. We will take a break here from Zapata. When we come back, we will switch gears to PHS Golf. Coach Willard is here with several of his golfers. That is coming right up here from Zapata Mexican Restaurant. It is the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River and YouTube.
Zapata Mexican Restaurant is a proud
and Zapata Mexican Restaurant. I'd like to thank all of our guests. Catching my breath here, Braden. That's got to be a record. You got 5 interviewees in one.
That was
segment.
impressive. You got through that 1 minute heavy. I don't know how you did it.
So we're here. We're here. Joining us now, Coach Zach Willard, as well as Millie McCormick and Caden Paramore, representing PHS Golf. Coach, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Hey, great to have y'all in. And do just kind of want to start with kind of season goals and what this group looks like and what are the expectations?
Yeah, we've got on the boys' side, we have Caden, which has been our number 1 seed player for the last 3 years, so he'll be a senior this year, as well as Riley Fell, who's played a lot of golf for us. He was our number 2 last year, so we'll return both of those guys, and then we'll be looking to kind of replace kind of our back end of our rotation there on our seeds. And we've got some guys that have been in the program for a little while that we're hoping will kind of step into those roles. For the boys, we've been to sectionals the last couple of years, and we've been close. We've been within just a few strokes of advancing to sub-state the last couple of years, so we'd really like to kind of take that next step. And on the girls' side, Millie's had a lot of success. She's gone to sectional, sub-state, so we'd love for team-wise to get to sub-state, and on the end of it, would love to advance to the state level.
In a game where the margins are so thin and it is such a mental game, how do you coach that aspect of golf? Because that is really such a big part, and you're dealing with kids whose emotions can be so up and down. What is that like from a coaching perspective?
Right, it's tough. There's a lot of state-regulated rules that don't allow us to coach them. The only time we can really talk to them is from green to the next tee. So there's a lot of weight on them to kind of get through that on their own. So, a lot of times the experience is just the best teacher. So the more they can get out there and get on the course and play through those mistakes, the experience pays off.
What are some things that you've got looking forward this year that, y'all are really looking forward to, really excited about coming up this season?
Well, one thing, like I said, Caden is going to be a senior this year. Him and Riley both they've been our number 1 and number 2 players on the boys' side the last couple of years, and I know we're going to get them into some big marquee tournaments and get them a lot of exposure. So we're playing in some different tournaments this year than we have in the past, and really building a pretty difficult schedule.
So I know Ballantrae is integral to all that you guys do. What is that relationship like, and how beneficial is it to have such a great place for them to go play?
I mean, I can't say enough about how great they are to us. When we talk to other coaches from other schools, they're constantly hearing how difficult it is for them to have places to practice, places to play. They're always having to get worked in somewhere, but Ballantrae they really do so much for our kids. They do so much for our program. Everything from scheduling to ordering, even to teaching the pros out there, or our kids at practice on the range and everything. So I can't say enough good things about Ballantrae. They have been a great partner for us.
I know golf's kind of one of those sports that if you don't play, it might be a little more difficult to get introduced to the game. What is that like when you're recruiting kids that may have zero experience to get them in and give it a chance?
Yeah, it is. It's intimidating because golf it's a very difficult sport. So if you haven't done it a lot, it is intimidating. But to me, Caden is just a great example of what can happen if you give it a chance and you work hard at it, because he was a baseball guy growing up all through middle school and just got into golf as a 9th grader, and now he's going to be playing at the collegiate level this time next year. So, it is difficult, but it's addictive too. So you get out there and have a little success and work hard at it. Not only can you have some success, but it's something you can keep doing, forever to your age.
Be frustrated your whole life.
That's right. That's right. Hit that one good shot.
Yeah. Well, let's hear from Millie and Caden now, and we'll start with Caden. I do want to just hear that journey that you had to get into golf in 9th grade, and how do you feel you've been able to be so successful?
Going into 9th grade, I was just kind of unhappy with baseball, and I kind of saw some people played online, and I thought it was fun, and so I just gave it a try, and I really liked it. So I practiced really hard at it because I wanted, to have a chance to do something in college. I kind of knew right away what I wanted to do because I love golf so much. But yeah, consistently practicing every day, and then obviously it's been hard a lot, but that's the beauty of golf. So I kind of just stuck with it and just kept practicing at it, which is the first time I've done something like that with something.
Millie, what's the journey been for you? I know both of y'all are familiar faces here. I know y'all have represented this program for several years. What was that journey like to have success on your end?
Yeah, so I started in middle school, and I played up in Memphis at my old school, and where I knew I wanted to keep playing. So just getting in touch with Coach Harchuk even before I transferred, and he got me in touch with a lot of the girls who were playing golf at the time, and just fell in love with it down here.
What is it like to be seniors now that, it flies by, and spoiler, it only gets faster as you get older, but to be seniors now and kind of the true leaders and the veterans, what is that role like for you guys?
There's a lot of guys have just stuck around. So even like Riley's a great example. He was playing on the high school team, it seems like since I was a sophomore. Like, he was in 7th grade playing up. So it's still a lot of familiar guys, but we've also gotten like Cash and Thomas who have left, and Tripp who joined last year. I mean, it's been fun just kind of showing them like tips and tricks and how to get better. And a lot of guys have gotten better, so it's been fun.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of new girls coming in from middle school, and even like some seniors joining up for their first year. So it's really exciting to be able to introduce them, even if they're just playing it for fun, showing them how fun it can be. And
what kind of expectations do you have individually about, goals and things you want to accomplish this year?
I want to definitely try to make a run for the state. I've fallen just short, it seems like every year. So I want to finally get over the hump, get in there, and then show what I can do at state. Just practice a lot, go under par in a few tournaments this year, and just kind of show what I'm about.
Yeah, so same thing. I'm trying to make for a run for state. Same thing as him. I've come up short a couple of years, and then also have a big goal of making the all-county team again like I did last year.
Coach made mention of trying to build a tougher schedule, looking at really big tournaments and matches. What's kind of y'all's outlook on that when you look at the schedule being built? Y'all like that tougher competition, and what's exciting about it?
I'm excited about it. I just want to play in bigger stuff, because in the summer, that's kind of, I'm always traveling, always playing in huge stuff and stuff like that. So it'll be really fun, and it's kind of like high school golf gets you ready for the summer tournaments and the rigorous tournaments. So I think it'll be really fun, because a lot of the kids I play against, I know that's just fun.
Yeah, same thing for me, just getting ready for those big summer tournaments, and also playing against your big rivals always makes you want to work.
So you guys have a favorite course that you like to play around the area?
I don't know, probably Ballantrae. I'm there all the time, so that's where I play at almost all the time.
Good answer. You go with the one that's the best to us and
it's
takes
a great
care of us.
course, man. It's awesome.
I do want to ask you, one final question before we go, just about that mental aspect, about how thin those margins are, and one little mistake is magnified in golf. How do you guys manage that sort of mental toll, and what is that like from your perspective out there competing?
That's probably my worst part in the game at first. I mean, I know freshman, sophomore year I get really frustrated and flustered, but I've really settled down and just kind of accepted that as a part of it. So if you don't think about it, you play confident, you're fine. That's just that's just golf. It'll happen. So
I agree. Just playing confident, like trusting yourself. You're more likely to make those little mistakes if you get flustered or if you rush something. So just being confident, like taking your time throughout each of your shots, you're not going to make those little mistakes that cost you.
And maybe you won't be frustrated the rest of your life as you play it, like most adults. Guys, best of luck this year. Appreciate you guys coming by yet again. Familiar faces. This is what, second or third time you guys have been
here?
So,
third.
So awesome. Best of luck, and we will take a final break here from Zapata Mexican Restaurant and the Panther Pulse. When we come back, Joseph Chambers joins us, as well as Coach Vickery, for a little chat about some high school sports. We might do a little college family game coming up, so want to get their thoughts on that one as well. That is coming up right after the break here from Zapata Mexican Restaurant. The Panther Pulse continues after this.
I'm Joseph Chambers, your local State Farm agent here in Pelham since 2017. We're proud to be supporters of Pelham High Athletics. When I was younger, I loved playing youth sports and being a part of my high school team, and I wanted to give back to this year's team and support any way I could. Me and my team want to help you and your family, regardless of where you may be in life. We can help you with auto, home, life, retirement planning, and so much more. Stop by our office to see what we can do for you. Let's go Panthers. Go get them.
State Farm Insurance agents. I want to thank all of our guests for stopping by, our football players, all of our SGA representatives, Nicole Knight, as well as our golf team. And joining us now, say his name multiple times every show, Joseph Chambers is with us, as well as Coach Vickery. Guys, how we doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Good to have Joseph home.
Doing good.
Yeah,
You know, smelling the food, I'm like, y'all have had a chance to get to it. I'm always by this point starting to get the hunger pangs. And so want to, again, we thank Zapata every week for this. We thank you, Joseph, for all that you do. But I do want to sort of just talk to you a little bit about why it is so important for you to support athletics at the high school level. Why do you, each and every year feel pulled to support Pelham Panther athletics the way that you do?
Yeah, just goes back to my upbringing, and I grew up in a small town and played sports from, the time I was 5 years old, and whether it was t-ball or soccer or football, middle school, whatever it was growing up, we were at a ball field somewhere. And so anything I can do to give back and, help support the next generation and allow them the same opportunities, I want to do.
So what's your favorite part? I mean, you're out here most at all the things we do. What is your favorite part still of that high school athletic experience and what you see week in, week out?
Yeah, honestly, just, I guess just the camaraderie and the community of it. I grew up in a town with one high school, kind of like Pelham, and, just the whole school, the whole town was out on Friday nights at the games, and everybody kind of knew everybody. And so I just like getting out in the community and shaking people's hands and saying hey and, just supporting any way we can.
Do you have a favorite part? I've asked several of our guests this throughout the year here. A favorite part of that Friday night experience, the sights, the sounds, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, so I was a big I played baseball in high school, so my favorite part was supporting the football team. I didn't actually play football after middle school, so I was the guy on the front row with my chest painted, screaming and hollering, so I just love seeing the pageantry and the passion around it, and supporting your classmates. When you get to college and pro and stuff like that, it's we're fans. I watch every Saturday and every Sunday, but you don't know those people. In high school, you're rooting on your buddies, and you're with them in math class, and it's just you really feel a part of it, and so that's cool to still see today.
Really special. There's nothing like it. I do want to ask Coach some of these similar questions, but before we do that, business-wise, what can you offer folks, and what kind of services do you have, and what can your office do for folks?
Yeah. Most people know, from the national advertisements, State Farm, we're the largest auto insurer and home insurer in the country. So obviously can do that. We also are one of the largest life insurers in the country. We also specialize in disability insurance as well as other financial service products. So my team and I can help with, really any of your insurance or financial needs. We've got, lots of different licenses and can kind of go a bunch of different avenues. There's something we can do for just about everybody. So give us a call. We'd be happy to help.
Coach, I do want to ask about the support of different businesses. And, I think most folks think the majority of what you do is on the field, and that it's very limited to that. But it's a lot bigger than that. And having these sponsors and support from community businesses is essential to do the things you do. What does it mean to have people like Joseph Chambers support the program and the school?
Well, first of all, next Friday at homecoming, I'm definitely going to have some paint, and we're going to see about getting you on front row, chest painted for homecoming.
Okay. There's a Letterman reunion coming up soon.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's
what better advertisement than State Farm across your back.
It's been a while, but
I think it's huge. Obviously, everything that we do, athletics, high school athletics, obviously now is such a big money, unfortunately, business side of things. So you really can't have a program, an athletic program, a football program, any athletic program without having great support from your community at this level. In the 6A, 7A in the state of Alabama, it's just such an expensive sport. I mean, for every helmet, you have 100+ kids. I mean, everything is exponentially more expensive. So not only the financial part of that, but just having the people in the community that are willing to come out. Obviously financially, but just their time, speaking to kids, being a kind of a lifeline after high school to like Joseph, others in the community that our kids can look up to. They don't have to know him, know our sponsors, by name, but they see our, people there that care, and they're able to kind of reach out and find their own way through those connections, and so there's just so much that goes into athletics, a football program, and without good people supporting those programs, you have no chance of success. And that's not win-loss success. That's success in producing kids who are ready to enter the workforce, get to school, careers, and just forming those connections and understanding the importance of giving back to your community is crucial for them to see.
I mean, you kind of beat me to the next question I wanted to ask was, what does it mean to have an individual, and no knock on any other businesses where you don't have the actual name and a face to it, but that is huge. And even for all the things that we do, the radio side, video side, to have those people in place is big time. I do want to take a couple minutes we never get to talk college football, and we got a couple of Alabama guys and a really big one this weekend in Tuscaloosa. First, Coach, when I watch games, I have a history in production, and I am unable to turn that side off when I watch a game. What is that relationship like for you watching college, watching pro? How much does that coach mind still just keep spinning?
It always does. I mean, that's just part of it. You're seeing things, and from that side, from a scheme standpoint, from a situation standpoint, you're always watching that. But I enjoy watching kids play, and during football season we have multiple TVs in the living room. My wife loves that, and there's usually Jackson State or all these other games that are on, just so former players at one point, which is really cool to be able to do. I mean, it's part of the perks of the job, right? So a couple weeks ago at one point we had 5 guys that had former players that were playing all at one time that were on the field, and so it's really cool to get to watch those kids perform. Now you can never find a Louisiana Lafayette versus Nickel State game on before, but now you're able to see those. Every game's on TV, televised. You're able to watch those on, and so I enjoy that part of it. Obviously, when we watch college games, NFL games, I enjoy the NFL game more than the college game as far as watching from a football standpoint. But you're always looking at those things and questioning the same things that everyone else in the stands are doing, and again learning from it. I mean, those are opportunities to get a mental rep, on what you would do in that situation. So it's a fun time of year.
No bigger game this weekend than the Georgia Bulldogs headed to Tuscaloosa. All eyes will be on T-Town. We got a former president in the house. It's going to be a madhouse. What are y'all's thoughts on this? Kalen DeBoer's biggest test. Must-see TV from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm for the Tide, but it should be a good game. I think Alabama's going to pull it out. I was talking to we got a really good friend that's an agent in Georgia, and he said, I asked him his thoughts on it this week, and he said, you guys are the boogeyman. So until we knock you off.
Well, I think the boogeyman may have retired, so that.
We'll see.
We shall see. Coach, what are your thoughts on that one?
First of all, I'm a Pelham volleyball supporter on Saturdays as well. So we'll be in Hartselle supporting Pelham volleyball for part of the day. Hopefully we'll get back in time may have to fly back down to be in Joseph Chambers box seats up in Bryant-Denny. But to get there in time for that, but it'll be an exciting night in Tuscaloosa. Unfortunately, we spent a lot of time there. 5 years as a student, 6 years as a professional, and the last time the president came in, it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And it was, when you start seeing snipers on top of buildings, it gets real in a hurry. So you definitely want to follow the rules when you're there walking around the stadium on those days. So it'll be a crazy day in Tuscaloosa, and I think Alabama is going to. they're playing loose. It should be a fun night of really, really good football, high-level football with some of the best players on planet Earth.
You going to be at the game Saturday?
Won't be there.
Oh, man.
I'll be watching from my basement.
I will be there as part of the coverage, and I'm anticipating 2 hours to get inside.
I've been at one game with the former president, and it took two and a half hours to get into Mercedes-Benz. So
I'm not looking forward to that side of it, but it's going to be must-see TV. We got a pick from you, Braden?
Roll Tide.
I just saw it. Already.
Absolutely.
Any official pick for that one, Coach?
I'm going 35-32.
Alabama.
I don't know.
Okay.
32. I can't be wrong.
I'm an Auburn graduate, but I've said I like Alabama in this spot. I think DeBoer gets a signature win in front of the fans. If they meet in the playoffs, though, I think Georgia gets revenge. So,
can I ask a question?
I'm a vibe guy.
Do we have time?
We do have time.
Is there any advantage the first time a staff faces another? So, like, you got Saban and Smart really knew each other. DeBoer coming in facing a new staff, I feel like that might play in Alabama's advantage a little bit.
I think it's a really good question. I think that in today's world, you can watch as much film, you can see every game that Kalen DeBoer's ever coached in his entire career at this point, because it's not a very long career at the Division I level. So I think they probably going back and watch every single thing that they've done over the past 3 to 4 years, but at the same time, you don't know that feel, when they take those chances, when they take those shots, and the kind of the ebb and flow of those games. You start getting a kind of a feel for what coaches like to do and what they don't like to do. So I definitely think it's an advantage somewhat to play a staff for the first time, and I think Kalen DeBoer is they're going to be loose and ready to go, and I think both teams will be, and that's what you want to see, is just going out and playing really good football.
6:30 p.m. on ABC. We won't have that one, but we will have the Pulse next week, as well as that homecoming game coming up next week. Before we go, sincerely, thanks for all you do, Joseph, and I know it means a lot not only to our football team, but really Pelham at large, your support and being a face that comes out, and not only what you do financially, and to be here and to be a part of the community and a face in the community, and somebody our athletes and students can look up to.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
And appreciate you joining us and talking a little ball. Coach, as always, appreciate you.
Thank you for being here, Joseph. Thank you for coming on and all that you do.
Thank you.
That will do it for us here on the Panther Pulse. Again, thanks to all of our guests, as well as our engineer, Robbie Esquivel, our directors, Dylan Hammett and Aiden Massey. For Braden George, I am Justin Foster. Good night, and as always, go Panthers.
I'm Joseph Chambers, your local State Farm agent here in Pelham since 2017. We're proud to be supporters of Pelham High Athletics. When I was younger, I loved playing youth sports and being a part of my high school team, and I wanted to give back to this year's team and support any way I could. Me and my team want to help you and your family, regardless of where you may be in life. We can help you with auto, home, life, retirement planning, and so much more. Stop by our office to see what we can do for you. Let's go Panthers. Go get 'em.